Welcome, everybody. I don't have a lot to get set up since it is just on YouTube today, but give me just a few seconds to make sure everything's working okay. And let me know. I know Carol's. Hi, Eliana. I know Carol's going to join me because we were talking all day, so she should be here shortly. So, Eliana, tell me be the icebreaker again. Tell me what you did today since there was no social media. What did you learn today? What did you do today? How was your experience? Junior was at work, everybody, so he had no idea. He came out and sent me a message closer to like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and he thought that it was just his internet or his phone acting wonky. But yeah, so he didn't get to experience the a global outage along with everybody else. I'm really hoping we see Carol soon because I know she's gonna have some information for us. That's how I get my information. I was telling Junior, I said, I was sitting here just trying to load videos, and of course nothing would go. And I know they're just saying that it was just Facebook and just this and that, but I just want to say it was all across the board. I couldn't upload anything new anywhere. It was super weird. I couldn't message anybody from anywhere. Like everybody says TikTok wasn't affected. I couldn't do anything on TikTok. I could only watch old videos. So I think it was a lot more affected than people think. But so Eliana says, first I refreshed my Facebook, Instagram, and thought my phone wasn't working. Yes, I imagine there's lots of people everywhere that's what they were. That's what their thought process was. Then I just decluttered and cleaned my house. Well, I took the day off. I got so frustrated because I was already behind. So no videos today, which doesn't, I mean, I'm not, no excuses. I was going to be late anyway. But it was a super weird experience. I got a little scared, I have to admit, just a tiny bit scared, because my entire business relies on social media. So I'm not the only one. There's lots of people that YouTubers that advertise on Facebook, live stream on Facebook. Like we're not live streaming on Facebook right now, because even though they are back up, you still can't put anything new. At least I can't where I'm at. Um, Eliana says, and then I took a nap. The energy does feel heavy today, and I think that's so. Anytime something happens globally, the energy is super heavy. How did you feel? Like I don't know for you, but I never forget September 11th. Never. It's so. Hi, Carol's here. Um, I never forget it, and I can't ever forget it because on that day, and usually a little before and a little after, super heavy, tragic, just sadness, lots of sadness. I cry a lot on September 11th. I didn't know anyone personally. It doesn't matter. It's just such a large tragedy that it's really heavy. So I imagine that lots of you guys felt the energy today. I imagine like I felt panic. And I was fine. I was sitting here working and getting through my things. I had a checklist of what all I had to get done today. I wrote in my 3 pages. How many of you guys are doing the artist way? Like Eliana, have you started yet? Have you went and looked at it yet? I did my 3 pages and I was like, this is going to be a great day. And then I sat down and realized that, the world was experiencing another. It's not like it's just one country or it's not like it's just one state. When it's so massive like that, you can very easily start to soak in that energy and start to feel that almost like just mass panic, right? So Carol says chat is only on my phone, not on my PC. So I feel like that's just everybody is having issues. Oh, she says there it is. Lightning, rain, and thunder here now never happens in California. My mom lived in San Diego right before she passed, and they always had beautiful weather. Um, it's scary. It's different. Lots of things are happening for sure, and I feel like it's weird that nobody talks about some of the things. So Eliana says, out of nowhere, I feel like terrible backaches and just sick. And oh my God, I bought the book and first task seems so hard. 3 pages of affirmations. Oh my God, it's not hard, I promise. It just seems super hard at first. So Carol, before you come in, I kind of asked everybody how did everybody I was telling Ray Junior didn't get to experience the global outage. He was actually at work today. So what did you do? How did you experience it? What happened? How did you find out? And just so everybody knows, Carol, I told Junior, I was like, guess how I found out? And he was like, how? I said, Etsy, because everything else was down. Mrs. L is here. Hi, Mrs. L. So oh, look, Mrs. L's in California. She says, none of that where she's at. That's good, Miss L. I'm glad. So, because Junior was at work on his 12-hour shift, he didn't know. He had no idea. So when he did try to message me on Facebook, he thought that it was just something wrong with his phone. He didn't realize that, this is global, that this is, it's everywhere. So I was just asking everybody, Mrs. L, what did you guys do when you realized Facebook was down? How did you find out Facebook was down? All the things, all of them. I know I'm just saying Facebook, but it's, all of them. And Carol, I kept reading where people are like, TikTok wasn't affected and YouTube wasn't affected. And I'm sitting here right now telling you I could not upload any videos. I could not message on TikTok. I have screenshots of my phone where it would not go through, and everybody's like, oh no, it was just this and it was just that. I couldn't get anything to work but Twitter. And I just want you guys to know I'm not on Twitter very often, but I told Junior I learned a couple of things from this experience. I learned I need to pay more attention to my Etsy shop, and I need to pay attention to Twitter, and I need to stop stressing about subscribers on YouTube. So that's how all of this affected me, and that's how I'm going to go forward from here on out. Sadly, YouTube can be gone at any moment. So I need to have other outlets, and I really need to put my focus and energy into those other outlets. Doesn't mean I won't be here, but I'm just going to stop stressing about it so much. I'm going to stop stressing about the deadlines and how many videos can I pump out and that type of thing. I'm only going to put out the good videos, and that's it. So Mrs. L. Carol says, had very intense night, crazy energies. Yes, yes. Miss L says, this is my only social. You're lucky, Miss L. That's possibly another reason of why we all got to experience this. She says, I filter everything with COVID. The only thing that bothers me is when my stuff I buy isn't here. So I'm going to tell you right now that Amazon was also affected. Um, Google, it's, yeah. So I did a little research to see who's who. My sister, thank goodness, helped me a lot, and she looked up a few things and was able to tell me who's who and why certain things were down and that type of thing. I even called my son and I was like, "Hey, is there anything I need to know?" But yeah, if it had just been Facebook, it happens. Or if it had just been YouTube. Remember last year when YouTube crashed for like a couple hours? Yeah, no big deal. But when it's so many across the board, across the world. I mean, I had messages. You guys were messaging me from California. I was getting messages from Australia. I got a message from a lady that gets a monthly reading in my Etsy shop from Italy. So it was like really weird to see all the little E's pop up across my phone at the same time. And I really appreciate, I just want to say, like, I really appreciate all of you guys thinking about me and, like messaging me to let me know, like, hey, this is happening. I really do appreciate that because I would have sat here frustrated thinking that it was my computer and my internet. Like, so Miss L says, wow, thanks for filling me in. So yes, it was super crazy. It's all over the news. They're talking about it. Apparently there was some Facebook whistleblower on 60 Minutes last night, and a lot of people think that one is connected to the other. I don't believe in coincidences. Okay. I don't believe in any type of coincidence. I believe everything happens for a reason. There's a purpose. Just because we don't know what the purpose is doesn't mean that it was just an accident. You know what I'm saying? Things are too specific in this world to have accidents. And so I do believe that one probably does have something to do with the other. I was on Twitter with other YouTube creators, and just really discussing how people are affected. I mean, there's Instagrammers that their whole livelihood is that's their career, that's their job. Um, yeah, lots of people were affected everywhere. So Miss L says she don't watch the news. I don't either. I only watch the news when someone calls me and says, "Hey, something's happening," and then I'm like, "Oh, turn the TV on." I do have like a weather app, so I mean, I don't know. I watch the little things on my weather app, but that's really we don't really have TV. We do the Netflix and Hulu and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm wondering how people are experiencing that we're like at a physical. I was at work today, but I was at home during my work day. Um, and I wonder like how other people are like they're coming out of work and seeing that this happened and like what they're thinking. I'm glad to see it back on, but I am still a little nervous that we still can't post anything. We still can't send messages are going through, but just barely. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's quite right. I did see a bunch of, sadly, when these types of things happen, you get so many people that just like jump in there and start saying all kinds of, crazy things. So, of course, on Twitter, everybody was like, it's deleted. I was talking to my oldest son, and of course, all my grandson's pictures are on my Facebook. And I'm like, no, they're going to delete my pictures. Like, what in the world? But so, needless to say, another thought I had is I really need to start printing some of these pictures out. My daughter-in-law, beautiful soul that she is, she'll message me the pictures all the time. She's constantly sending me pictures of the kids, and they live a couple, just a state or so away. So it's not quite where I'm at. So she's constantly sending me pictures. And I love them, and I'm always, like saving them and loving them and the heart thing, all that stuff. But I don't actually go and print them out. So they're on my Facebook or they're on my Messenger, but I don't actually have them. So I very quickly, like Miss L doesn't have to deal with that because she doesn't have Facebook. But I very quickly realized that I rely on my Facebook quite a bit. I didn't print them out before because I would just say, well, it's always on Facebook. It's fine. And I think we learned today that that's, might not necessarily always be the case. Miss L says she wants to get her pictures printed as well. Yes, I think we're definitely all going to start focusing on those little types of things. Miss L says she's watching Catfish right now on Hulu. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. I kind of just wanted to jump on. I didn't know it was going to come back up, and I was getting a lot of messages of people just kind of, some people excited, some people fearful, some people think that it'd be good if we didn't have social media. I don't really want to say like I have an opinion either way. Do I think we spend too much time on social media? Absolutely. Is there bad stuff on social media? Absolutely. But there's bad stuff everywhere we go. We kind of have to take the good with the bad, right? So yeah, I don't know if I would say we should just do away with all of it. And again, a lot of people, their jobs, their careers, their livelihood kind of depends on social media. So yeah, that could be tragic. So have any of you guys started journaling more? I was talking to Eliana before you guys came in, and I was saying that I did my 3 pages today, and I thought I was going to have a great day, and I started working. That's why I couldn't figure out like why nothing would load anywhere. I was getting so frustrated. I was like, no, but I did my 3 pages today. So I just want to know if you guys are journaling more. Junior wants everybody to hit the like button. Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl's here. I called Cheryl. Cheryl's like my mother-in-law, right? Like, or my soon to be mother-in-law. One day we might get married. Who knows? But I called her and I was like, do you got news? Do you got TV? Can you turn your TV on and just let me know like what the news guy is saying? There's always a quiet person, honey. I don't know why. It seems like there's always like one or two people that come in and they don't do anything. They just kind of sit there and watch. But hey, that's cool too. It's still engagement. Yeah, Cheryl was my news anchor. She called me right back a few minutes later and was like, "Oh, that's when she's the one that actually told me on the news they were talking about the whistleblower." And I had seen where they were saying that one, had to do with the other. A sleeper, Miss L says, "Yes, yeah." Which it's okay. Some people are shy and, ooh, I just got my first live Facebook notification. It's actually for Stephen Furtick, who, by the way, is like my favorite, one of my many, many favorites. I shouldn't say my favorite. There's one of my many, many favorite pastors, and I like to watch his sermons online. Um, so that's pretty interesting to see that on my phone. I don't have another one for it says 10 hours ago, which I believe is when the thing first went down. So I'm kind of wondering now if it's back live. I mean, if it gets back on normally. I didn't set this live particularly to go share in the Facebook like we normally do. Because it wouldn't let me. It just told me that Facebook was down and it wasn't an option. So I'm kind of hopeful. I am seeing a lot of stuff under my watch live button. So I think it's possible that Facebook is back to normal. I don't want to jump the gun. I don't know. Cheryl says I wouldn't have known about it. Yes, you would have. As soon as you turn your TV on, you would have seen it, Cheryl. They talked about it all day. Oh, Eliana says it's crazy because when I started my journey, I used to journal so much and do lots of shadow work, so therapeutic. I need to get back on with it that artist way. Okay, so I love Eliana. Me and Eliana's energy, I swear, it's so very similar, and I feel like our journeys are very similar. Because again, Eliana, that's exactly how it was for me. I used to journal all the time, and when I started this journey, I was really journaling, and I got way more into it. And then it was like as I started to heal and as I started to get better, I feel like that's probably pretty normal. I definitely started slacking on it. So I was really glad to get the book too. And like when I finished my third page this morning, it's like I want to do this all the time. I don't want to do it just because I got this book. And I think that was the purpose of her morning pages. Mm. Cheryl was talking about the lime. Oh, you couldn't have seen the live on Facebook because we are not on Facebook. Yeah, it wouldn't even let me hit the button um to go, and I don't think that now Junior might have sent you a message, Cheryl, and that's possible. But like I don't have anything posted about the live on anything. I just wasn't it didn't allow me to. Yeah, we're not on our page, I promise. It's just YouTube. That's why it's just us. No crazies today. I was actually going to play music, y'all. I was going to show you who Upchurch was, and then I was just going to delete this one. Yeah, I'm looking, Cheryl, to see if like maybe I accidentally hit a button. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything. So there, it wasn't on Facebook at all. Um, YouTube might have sent you a notification, because they sent me a notification, which is like the first time in a really long time. Um, when did I start? I started right at 7, so like 20 minutes ago. Yeah, I think you saw it on your messenger, Cheryl, and Junior probably sent you like the link. Like he probably shared the link, which means that we can probably share it now. Like I said, I do see that Facebook is showing like I actually have a notification under my watch live button. And I did just get a notification 10 minutes ago for something that I actually subscribed to. And I haven't had another one for 10 hours. So we all know that there's lives on Facebook all day long. So that is a 10-hour gap that there was no lives that I was notified for. Doesn't mean there wasn't any lives on. It just means that I've subscribed to the Stephen Furtick. I've liked the page. So it's telling me that he has a live on. So I can't really tell you exactly when it would came back on. But I can say that from my own Facebook, I have a 10-hour gap from notifications of a live. It's possible we can share it now, but I'm not even going to bother. I really just wanted us to get in here, and just kind of talk to each other and see what all was going on. I was going to ask Carol to tell us about the Schumann's meter, because she's been sending me this thing on YouTube that's super interesting and super cool. And I actually had checked it out, back a few months back, when the Great Conjunction was happening. I'm so big about this Great Conjunction. Nobody's hearing me, but I swear, like one day somebody's gonna be like, "Hey, you remember that Rosa girl on YouTube?" So I'm not joking. Like I feel like ever since that Great Conjunction happened, ever since that big stellium happened, but ever since we really like November, December, when we moved into that age of Aquarius, there's some big things that have been happening, and nobody is like putting the two together. Nobody's saying, "Hey, this weird astrological event happened." And now all these weird things are happening here. So it's weird to me, like how nobody, I know I'm never the person, like I'm always the one that says, there's no way I'm the only one. There's got to be somebody else. And when things happen to other people, I'm always like, you're not the only one that's happened to. It happened to somebody else. Let's go see how they dealt with it. You see what I'm saying? And so it's weird to me that like nobody talks about the astrology and the things that we have happening. Astrologists do. You know what I mean? You can go on YouTube and watch astrologists, and they'll tell you what's happening and why, but nobody else will talk about it. Nobody else will mention it. Nobody else will bring it up. People don't talk about it in their, other channels and other kind of spiritual, anything. Like nobody brings up the astrological events and how they are seriously like affecting the entire world. And I just think that's crazy to me. Oh, the shutdown thing, Miss L wanted to know. I'm sorry. I believe it was noon, right around noon my time, and I'm Central Time. Very much so. I agree. I did feel my merging right around that time, Carol. Yeah, I really wish more people would talk about it because it is interesting, Miss L, and it's so interesting how um it can tell us things. Miss L says, I love astrology. It's so interesting. I think people think it's really complicated, and so they get super nervous, um, and things happen, and they don't want to like put the two together and say, this is why this thing happened. But I definitely feel it right away. Like I know when something's happened, I can go look, no joke, at like the stars, the planets, the moons, and I can find out why something's happened. And it's weird to me like how other people, and like this whole global, this downage we just experienced, There's this guy. I don't know his name. I should know his name. His name is Roland. He's like an older gentleman. And he does astrology reports on YouTube. And it's really where I get a lot of my information. I'm trying to find it right now. And he does like these year out predictions. It's funny because I was just telling Miss Tina today that tarot readers can tell you what you've been through, the energy. We read the energy of what you've been through, and we can give you a likelihood from what spirit channels to us to what could happen in the future. But do we know the future? I wouldn't say I do. I can't pick the lottery numbers. You know what I mean? I feel like if there was someone that could predict something like that, they'd be like the richest person, and we wouldn't know who they are, right? Maybe Zuckerberg. I mean, maybe he's the psychic. I don't know. But tarot readers, that's what we do. Most people, we're reading energy, and your energy is something you've already been through. It's something that can tell us what how you felt through a certain situation and that type of thing. And then the tarot cards can tell me like what might happen. It may happen. Hi, Jenna. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen, right? And when we know something, we can usually change things around. Um, and change it. We can change like our outcome, our reality, our like physical 3D world. And most of the time that's what tarot is for. Like that's what you're supposed to use it for. So I found it. It's called Ablas Roland Legrand. So Ablas and then Roland Legrand. So make sure to look that up. It's called Astrology for a Better Life. And that's, if you guys are ever wondering where I get all my charts and how I know like where the moon is and how it's affecting me, and what's in retrograde and what's not, that's the channel. He's got 130,000 subscribers. He reminds me of my grandpa. I mean, listening to him, I could listen to him for hours. I take my notes, and then that's how I know what I'm going to talk about when I'm doing the videos. So he actually talked about something like this happening in October. So I guess if you could predict the future, I would say astrology is probably the way. No, Miss L, I have not. And I've not done a palm reader either. Yes, I know. I need to explore. Um, I've even slowed down on my own daily readings, which is odd. And I think it's just because everything's so emotional right now. I know Miss L says, what? I know. I know. I don't know. Everything is super, super emotional. And if you listen to Carol, like how she's talking about how this twin journey has gotten so um fast and extreme in this last, since the Great Conjunction. Um, yeah, it's enough to even like I'm a go 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 person, and like not a whole lot can really get me. Um, I mean, I don't know. I'm a fighter, I guess you could say, you know what I'm saying? And so here lately the things been getting me, and I just and I don't want to say getting me, it's just that I feel it. It's super intense, and I know something's like coming. I don't want to say like it's pending doom or anything like that. It's just that I know that spirit's asking us to really step up to the plate and start dealing with things. And so it's kind of like your parent, right? So if you got bad grades at school, you don't run to your parents and show them your report card. But when you get an A plus, you run to your parents and show them your report card, right? So it's kind of like that. Miss L says, I cried today. I understand. I imagine lots of people cried today. Lots of people, empaths, probably felt all the energy all across the world. And there was probably a lot of like mass fear, you know what I mean? And that can be so overwhelming that would make anybody cry. So Eliana says, super intense for sure. It is. That's why I was hoping Carol would tell us a little bit about Molly McCord is very good as well, Carol said. About the meter and what it is that they're registering, because it's pretty interesting information, and I feel like I don't personally know enough to really, touch on it too much. Cheryl says life has happened. Yes, yes. Miss L says, before my notification came on for me, I was crying. I'm so glad that we came on. I definitely felt that. My plan today was get the other videos out. That was really what I was trying to do. Since 4 o'clock this morning, my day starts super early. Like we are the 4 o'clockers now. It's super fun. But so I was definitely up trying to get the things done and trying to hurry up and get them out there. And then about noon, everything stuck, and that was that. And I was like, wow, I honestly didn't know like what to do next. I had to stop in the middle of all my work and put the things away. Um, I was caught up in the Etsy shop, so I really didn't have that. Etsy was the only thing that was working. So that was, it wasn't really anything I could do there. But I had a lot of work to do on my page, on my channel, and all this other stuff. And yeah, like suddenly I realized, I mean, I am helping. I understand that I'm helping people on YouTube, and I understand that it's free. And I understand that it gets around. But I also know that spirits draw certain people to my Etsy shop. And yeah, I really need to be focused on what readings I'm doing in there, what kind of thumbnails they have. Um, I there's so much judgment with the whole twin thing that a lot of times people will tell me that they wait so long to get readings because they don't want people to know, or they don't even want to like confirm it. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I think that it's just because the beliefs are so different. I'm glad you're good, Miss L. I'm a lot better too. And I knew that our energies, like I knew it would be better if we got on live. I didn't care. We couldn't share on Facebook. Who cares? It's just us. And we, you know what I'm saying? Like we just need to talk about it. And I feel like if you talk about it, it makes you feel better. And you see you're not the only one in the boat. You know what I mean? But Miss L, you didn't even know. You didn't even have the Facebook. But that's why you were feeling all that energy, because lots of people all over the world do have Facebook, and very much were, um, yes, like I had lots of fear. Cheryl says, I had a super day yesterday. It's like nothing bothered me. That's amazing, Cheryl. So, Cheryl came to bring me um, Junior's daughter today. And when she brought her over, she told me, I hope you don't mind, Cheryl. I'm totally telling. It's just us. And most likely we're going to delete it. She told me that she went to church yesterday, and she said, you know what the sermon was about? And I said, what was it about? And she said, it was about going after your purpose, fulfilling your purpose in life. And I was like, wow, look at that. So she's like, it must be a sign. Yes. And every time I go to church, I always feel like that. I always feel like the preacher is talking to me. I look around at other people and I'm like, why are they here? You know what I mean? Like, are they having the same thing? All right, so Carol's starting to tell us about it. She says, okay, normally when the spikes happen that hit the planet, they reform the sun and they interact with our magnet sphere. Okay. Miss Elsa, she was talking with her higher self. I need to do that more often. I do it, but not intentionally. Isn't that weird? I need to be more intentional. I bet it was cool. I used to love them moments when I was sitting in there and I thought like he was talking just to me. I really couldn't figure out why everybody else was there. So tell us more about it. So Carol sent me, I'm going to tell Karen, I'm going to tell them what happened, and you can give us a little bit more information if you want to. Carol sent me it's a Schumann's meter, and it's where they are like getting, like she said, the magnetizement things. It's like all the energy, little energy meter, right? Now, I didn't understand the part about the sun today because I think today was a different meter, Carol. That wasn't the Schumann's. He was actually looking at something else because he talks about the sun situation, which is super weird. I was reading in the comments. I was like, wow. But here lately, it's like they've been recording these really weird things out in the atmosphere. And it does seem like they do seem to coordinate with things that are happening like here on Earth. So I find it pretty weird. So Carol says, lately the spikes are hitting over 20,000 hertz, which is in event mode. The spikes that happened last night were not from the sun, as they were no something, I can't read that, coronal mass injections, which means the energy was not from our sun. That was weird, right? Like I was reading in the comments and I was like, there's something about that. There's another lady I watched. I'm always advertising for everybody else. I hope these people are grateful because I got another one. There's another lady that I watch, and she actually does tarot. That guy I was telling you about, the Roland Legrand, he is just an astrologist. He doesn't read tarot or channel, or I mean, I'm sure he channels something in his own thing, but you know what I'm saying. This one, Starseed 1111, and the way she does it is Starseed and the dot dot. What is that? It's not a semicolon. It's a, oh, what is that? You know what I'm talking about. The dot dot. So it's 11, like a time, 1111. But hers is Starseed 1111. She's got 77.3 thousand subscribers. Definitely check her out. Carol, I think you would like her a lot. She's constantly showing that chart, the same one that you sent me today. So YouTube and the subscribers, we got to totally talk about that. Have you guys noticed that we've been stuck at 640 something for 2 months, almost 2 months? Has anybody else noticed that? I haven't talked about it very much because it was ticking me off. I went a whole year and got 640 something subscribers. And of course, I want to get monetized. Of course, I want to be able to stay home and do this from home and not have to go get a second job or a third job. And you know what I mean? So YouTube requires you to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I'm already at the 4,000 watch hours. You guys watch all my videos loyally. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you watch them all the way through. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're already there on watch time. But YouTube has definitely put the halt on the subscribers. I Googled it to see like, hey, am I the only one? And no, of course not. And other small YouTube channels talk about how it happens to them, and you just really have to push through. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that like buy subscribers and buy likes and that type of thing. So they really got to stay on top of it because they're not going to pay people to do nothing. So I kind of understand. Thank you, Miss L. I do not get paid for the ads yet. So that actually just changed this year. YouTube has had the same rules forever and ever, and then just suddenly they started changing. Sister said it's because Google bought them. But I actually, and I don't mind, watch the ads, don't watch the ads. Even when I do get monetized, don't watch them, don't watch them. It's not about that. It's totally fine if you don't want to. I'm bad about skipping. As soon as it says skip ad, it's like my mind just automatically goes to the button. You know what I mean? But I've tried here lately, especially like the people like Starseed 1111. I really try to let her commercials play out because she is monetized. And I know that she needs that money so that she can keep getting us the information. You know what I'm saying? So I do let them play. But they actually just changed that. And you don't get monetized you don't get paid for the commercials until you're at 1,000. But they used to not put commercials on your channel if you weren't monetized, if you weren't at 1,000. But because YouTube is YouTube and they own it and we can't complain, we get to run our businesses and whatnot on YouTube for free. So no complaints here. But yeah, they get to change it, and they put commercials on there. People got really upset about the commercials. I seen all kinds of other YouTube creators were like, "I'm being robbed. This is wrong." I did not complain because, one, again, YouTube is a free platform, which I'm able to run my business on. So no complaints whatsoever. But it also let me know how valuable YouTube thought my videos were. You see what I mean? Like, I was able to see that my commercials were all certain kinds of commercials, the higher up commercials. And I was like, oh, so that means that YouTube thinks that my view duration, people are watching long enough that they're going to put the better commercials on there. So I didn't get mad about it. I was totally like, trying to pull the positive out of it. But it used to not be like that. That actually just changed this year. But we are at 4,000 hours. And that'll change because it goes 365 days. So like tomorrow, it'll be 365 days from today, and it'll keep going and it'll change up and down. But view duration has never been a problem. People watch it all the way through. And I think because I try to do mine a little bit different. I try to put a lot of graphic art into my readings. A lot of times people will just read the cards and it's just an open table and they're just sitting there and it's a 30-minute long reading. And when you're really good, it doesn't really matter where you're at, right? I tell Junior that all the time. Like, it doesn't matter. I could be sitting outside in the grass. If people say it resonates, that's really all that matters. But I like to I get bored easily. I was just talking to my son today. Definitely the ADHD or whatever it's called. I just get bored super easy, and I tend to not be able to watch them because they're so long and monotone and dragged out. And so what I do is I try to break them down into like the energy of the week, and then I'll break it down to the main spread, and then we'll do guidance, and then we're out, right? So I normally try to break it up. I use the transitions in there. I just think it keeps people's attention easier. It's easier as it goes faster along there. Not everybody likes the speed. Like Miss Tina, she always tells me, like, you're going too fast for me. I need you to slow down. I want to for Miss Tina, but unfortunately the numbers say that people like it when it's faster, when it goes a lot quicker. Miss L says, keep up the good work. I'm going to. I'm not a quitter. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep pushing. I've seen some people get stuck for a long period of time. But see, here's the thing about YouTube. My business is on the Etsy store. So yes, YouTube does help me. And YouTube does help me get the information out there. But I trust in God, and I honestly believe that if something was to happen to my YouTube channel, something else would just open up. It's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been. I finally stopped the anxiety of certain things, not everything, because I still have some anxiety. Especially in certain situations, like when things are happening right at the moment. But I used to be way worse at worrying. And I really just, especially since the tarot, especially since like today I got my 84th, I think it's 84th, 5 out of 5 star review in the Etsy shop. And I'm not trying to brag on myself. I'm just saying there's people that got way more, but I have, okay, so there's 85. If you go look on my Etsy shop, there's 85 reviews. I have one that gave me 2 stars out of 84. Everybody else has given me 5 out of 5 stars. I will say this, the lady that gave me 2 stars, I used to, I don't know. I don't know how to say things nicely. You know what I mean? I feel like if I'm trying to help someone, then if someone's trying to help me, I don't want them to sugarcoat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want them to tell me, hey, this is what's happening. And maybe you shouldn't do this, because if you keep doing this, it's just going to keep happening. I need people to do that. I want them to be like, in my face, this is it. Nobody likes it, right? But I mean, if we thought we were all perfect, we'd never get any better. And that's just crazy to me. And so, yeah, she was just the one person that didn't like my answer, I guess. So I have started easing into it a little more. I understand that not everybody is like me, not everybody can handle it. I cry too. What am I talking about? You know what I mean? So I have tried to like be a little easier. It's a lot easier to do in the videos than it was when I was writing it. When I first started this, I was writing them and sending them to your email, or in the Etsy shop. And yeah, it was just a lot harder to write. It takes so much time that I didn't have time to go look to see like what's an easier way of saying this. And to me, it didn't sound bad. But now that like I'm doing, they're all recorded, they're all on YouTube. If I say something, I can hear it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds mean. I better, you know what I'm saying? And so Jenna, she's got the is that one of the artists, painter? No, it's a fortune cookie. Yeah. So Miss L says I had a reader that was too harsh and disrespectful. I don't think I've ever been disrespectful. My grandpa raised me well, and I don't feel like I've ever been disrespectful to anyone. But I didn't lie, and I just was very honest. And I'm not saying that I lie now. It's just that now I know that just because one, here's another thing I learned: just because spirit shows me something doesn't mean I need to say it out loud. So that's one thing. And another thing I've noticed is a lot of times when people are coming to me in this journey, they're at that hard moment when they need somebody to hear them. They need somebody just to be an ear. A lot of my lives it's just like that. We're just friends, and I'm just here to listen because I understand and I know and I feel it too, and I've been through it too. And so it's just, it's not something you can go to your regular therapist and sit down and talk. Well, I mean, you never know. She might be in a twin journey too. You don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot easier. I feel like for people to talk about this particular situation that's so judged so harshly online, I swear, that they just talk to me. They open up and talk to me. And I think um, at the time, yeah, at the time, I gotta admit too, this was when I first opened my Etsy shop. She was one of the first. I'm at 80 something. I think I want to say she was at one of the first 20 or 30 reviews. So at early on, um, and I really have learned so much. As like people think that I know so much, and it's like, no, I'm learning with you. We're all on this boat together. You know what I'm saying? I just see it differently than you, and she sees it differently than me, and that person sees it different than her. And you see what I'm saying? Um, but so a lot of people think that I know this stuff, and it's not that I know. Like for example, Carol is a perfect example of this. I used to honestly believe 100% that you weren't on a twin journey unless you knew what a twin was and that you experienced it in the 3D physical life. Like that's my judgmentalness right there. And I did that for years. For years, I believed that. And I'd see on Facebook like where people were talking and they were like, "Oh, but I know that there's somebody out there." And I was like, "No, don't go looking. There's nobody out there." And like I would tell people like, "Don't go looking for it." You know what I mean? Like this isn't fun and games and cherry on top. No, like don't do that. And then I realized that one, I don't know everything, and two, um, there's experiences, there's people that's on this journey, and we're all learning the same basic concept. Okay, we're all learning unconditional love. You can break that down into 100 different ways, but that's what we're learning. But we're all doing it in 100 billion different ways, right? My journey is different than Carol's journey. Mrs. L's journey is different than our journey. You see what I'm saying? We're all doing it different ways, but we're learning the same basic concept. And it's just love. If you can break it down to all the different categories, and everything is going to go back to love. I think it's because it sounds so crazy because love has been so um just what's the word, like just so broken, through it. People have used the word itself so incorrectly for so long that it's like we don't know what unconditional love is. It's crazy to me, but we don't. And it's like we have to relearn it. And as I was relearning it, First I thought it was just my twin. I'm only supposed to send my twin unconditional love. You know what I mean? Like, what's the purpose of that? How are we healing the world? You know what I mean? So there was lots of things that we don't understand or we don't see, and it's just because we don't experience it in our journey. So we see someone else's journey, and it's easy to be like, hey, that's not right because it wasn't like my journey. So every time I thought I knew something, Spirit would send someone into my Etsy store with like the opposite. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So I mean, it's like he'll let you know real quick. Anytime you come up with any kind of judgment and try to like make anything a fact, it's like Spirit will just show me right away, like, nope, that's not true. Love on earth is conditional, Carol. Absolutely. But I think that's what we're here for. I think that's the whole. If we boil it all down and we take everybody's parts and pieces and we put it all together, I think that's what it's going to come down to. Jenna, how are you doing? Tell us, how did you do today with the global outage? How did you find out? What kind of experiences did you have? And we've all been talking about how everyone's been feeling like a heavy energy. So I don't want to like put words in there, but just let me know, how did you feel the energy today? Miss L. Cheryl says, preach it, Miss L. So I'm not sure what to do about the rest of the videos. I had 3 that were going out today, so 3 were going to be late anyway. So now I have 6 that's going to be late. I don't know if I want to put those 6 out late or if I just want to do another live and we'll just go through each of the signs and see how the week's going to be. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Now the options are so open. Now that I'm not worried about the subscribers, I'm like, you know what, YouTube, do your thing. I'm just going to still do my thing. Like ever since then, now it's like, oh, I can do this and I can do that and I can do this if I wanted to. Jenna says, I had a long, busy, rainy day here. Lots of people are experiencing lots of storms. Was it really stormy or just rainy? I've been talking for an hour. I talk a lot. I know. Sorry. Stormy. So Carol is in California and she says stormy too. All right, ladies. Does anybody have a question? Does anybody want a reading? Does anybody want to see what Spirit has to say? I thought we would do a little bit before we got dinner. I can't believe I talked so much. I'm sorry. Normally it's like a 15-minute thing I have planned out. I don't know what happened today. Pulled out the Witch's Tarot today. Have you guys seen the Witch's Tarot? So there's more than one Witch's Tarot. This is the modern Witch's Tarot. And then I actually got this one too. And this is like an older version of the Witch's Tarot. And I thought this one was pretty cool. It doesn't have a devil card in it. Like there's a couple different cards it doesn't have. It just has a shadow card. I can't remember what else was different. There was a couple other things that were different with that one, but it's like the older version of the Witch's Tarot. Miss L says, read me. All right, Miss L, let's see what's happening. Miss L says, I talk a lot too. Cheryl says, so does my grandson. Cheryl says, read me. Jenna says, I have a new kitten. Any messages regarding her tiny soul? I love that. I actually did one for my neighbor not too long ago when they lost their pet. And I actually wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to do. I really didn't know how that stuff worked. I had to just go do it and find out. And then I learned that, yeah, it's just a soul. It's energy, just like everything else. You see how my cards keep doing this? Like it's driving me crazy. But yeah, like I was able to see things and tell her things about her pet that had passed. So that was, I feel like it was helpful. People don't realize how attached people get to their pets. I'm not a pet person, and I'm just gonna tell you, I'm not. I'm a people person. I lived with my grandpa, raised me. My grandpa had 8 dogs. They all lived outside. But so I understand that like people have, pets that they're very close to. And I actually did not get to experience that until just now. I have Spencer, my American Pit. He's beautiful, white with the one black ear. He's been my guard dog for, the 12 years I've had him. And he's getting old. And like he's starting to get a little sick, and yeah, it's rough. And I'm not, I don't know. Again, I feel like I'm a pretty tough person, but I feel like it's gonna affect me. It's the longest pet I've had. And he's always thought he was a person. He hears me talking about him, so he's coming back here. So if you guys ever hear that tapping in my videos, that's Spencer coming in to visit me. And like I'll shut my door and he'll open it. All right, so I think it was Miss L first, right? Was it Miss L first? Honey, look, I said I'd be able to do it. It was fine. Morgan just messaged me, but I'm pretty sure it was William. It says, "Do you have anything to eat?" My youngest son moved out. He lives next door. Okay, so I think it was Miss L. I don't see anybody saying anything, so I'm gonna go Miss L, and then we'll do. I think it's Jenna and then Cheryl if I got them right. Is Eliana in there? I didn't see one from Eliana, so maybe she's like, we'll let somebody else break the ice today. All right, Miss L. Let's see what comes out. And I don't have any particular spread. I'm just gonna let Spirit show us. The moon. Two of Swords and the Tower. Why is that Tower coming out here? I am actually a fan of the Tower, but that's because I'm in Aries and Mars is my ruling planet. And the Tower, of course, represents Mars. All right, so this was my idea for today. So the moon coming out is kind of easy. Emotions, fear. I feel like that's just what everybody's feeling today. Two of Swords, Miss L tells me that's you when you were upset. Like now he's calling and blowing up my phone, so I can't see you guys. So I hope you can see me okay. I love my child, I promise I do. Honey, can you please try to help me out with that situation? All right. So this is all the emotions you're feeling. Like everybody was talking about how we cried today. It's just overwhelming emotion. I'm definitely sensing that. Two of Swords tells me that you're feeling stuck. Miss L, I feel like you get the Two of Swords often. Because I remember saying stuck between a rock and a hard place. And then the Tower card. Let's see what this Tower card is. The Tower, of course, Miss L has taught me. I used to say something was going to shock you or surprise you. Which it is, but Miss L kind of explains it as it's almost like lightning hits this tower and it crumbles, but there's something inside the tower you didn't see, or the tower was blocking your view from something. So it's like you get some sort of enlightenment when the tower crumbles. So does it stink? Absolutely. Not always. It's not always like something that's super bad, but it's something that's like, that's a tower moment. But it's usually something good coming in. So it's kind of like the Pluto coming out of retrograde that I was talking about in the six that I got posted. I talked about how Pluto's coming out of retrograde, and even though we are in this new moon, we have the new moon on. Oh, I'm gonna forget. Wow, brain fart. Wow, I think it's the 6th. Yeah, because I had to circle the 7th on the thing because that's when it's coming out of retrograde. Yep, so the 6th is the new moon. So even though new moons, we set intentions, right? Powerful intentions. That's normally what we're doing with new moons. Even though that's happening, we have Pluto coming out of retrograde. So something's still going to drop away. And so it's like a full moon. It's like we're releasing something, but it's not. It's a new moon. And have you guys noticed that this has happened a couple different times now throughout the year on these new moons? New moons is supposed to be new energy coming in. We've already dealt with what was falling away on the full moon. And it's like Spirit says, no, no, you didn't. And now we're going to make sure. Yes. So Miss L says the tower, she says hashtag tower power. Oh, Miss L said the kitten goes first. I'm sorry, Miss L. We'll do the kitten next. She says it reveals the truth, and I'd rather know than not know. Absolutely, me too. So let's see, what do we get for the tower? Ooh, Six of Pentacles. Somebody helps. Generosity. Ten of Wands. End of a stressful situation. I'm liking this tower. Nine of Pentacles. Independence. Some sort of financial gain. Totally liking the tower. So, Miss L, you're feeling stuck. Could have something to do with a money situation. I really feel like this moon is just emotion, fear, but I think it's what you're feeling today. I feel it's a money situation because of all the pentacles. So whatever this tower happens that comes out, the Ten of Wands tells me tired, exhaustion, stress. You're going to be really tired, stressed. You're like really not wanting to deal with it. But whatever that is, I feel like someone's going to help you. Someone's going to be generous in some sort of way. And the Nine of Pentacles coming out is independence. And I just got something else too that I want to say, because I just recently learned, I wrote a note about it somewhere. Oh, it's not here. Somewhere I wrote a note. Six of Pentacles is also about a part of you that you're not paying attention to. So that could have something to do, especially with the Ten of Wands coming out next to it. And then the Nine of Pentacles. So it's kind of like there could be something about yourself that you need to put more effort in or pay more attention to. And that very much could end some sort of very stressful situation. And whatever this stressful situation is, I really feel like it's got to do with Pentacles, like with money, with some sort of material wealth, because the Nine of Pentacles is very much freedom, independence. I built this on my own type of situation. Miss L says it's the karmic. He keeps messing with me. Miss L, here's something I want to say, and please don't get upset with me. Here's something that I have learned in life in my twin journey. I was one of those people that wanted to cut cords. I was one of the people that tried to be like, oh no, I don't have to do this. And one thing I learned very quickly is that when I fight against what the universe has for me, it just gets harder and harder and harder and harder until I absolutely have to go do whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? And it's kind of like the YouTube. I didn't want to have to. I didn't really think I'd look at the Two of Cups on the bottom. I didn't want to tell people. Do you guys remember when you were at that place? Like, do you guys remember when you were like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want people to know about this. So yeah, and so I just kept fighting it, and I kept fighting it. And I was working at Lowe's. I had a great job, like a great place. I have a great job now, but I mean, like I had a great job. I loved the people that I worked with, but it was physically very demanding on me. But again, I'm a strong person. I have a strong back. I've worked all my life, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I will load those blocks up there just along with so and so dude, and just along with what I'm saying. And that's how it was. And I would have just kept doing that. I did start to break, like my elbow. I got this thing, I forget what it's called. The doctor called it, and it was so funny because when I'm sitting in her office and she's tendonitis, is it some elbowitis? I don't know. It was something in my elbow. It's like we're something torn away a little bit, and so she's telling me about it in the office, and she's like, "It happens with age, honey," and I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." So I had little things start to happen that, yeah, I'm 42 years old. Like, I'm not going to be out there loading, concrete blocks and this kind of stuff for much longer. But I feel like I would have just kept going, because that's how I've always done it. I just kept going until I absolutely had no choice but do it a different way. Do it the way that I knew I was supposed to be doing it all along. Bursitis. I don't think that was it. I can't remember. I want to say it started with a T. If Miss Tina was here, she would remember. But yeah, I can't remember. Miss L, I don't know what the word would be. I have to deal with that situation too. I learned to take my energy back, and then I don't know why or what the word is. I guess empathy, maybe. I very quickly give it right back. Yeah. It's very much like I'm learning and I'm doing it more often and it's getting better now. But yeah, I still slip from time to time. Miss L says, I love helping people in the community. I love helping people, period. I feel like I've always been the helper. It makes me feel good. I've always, like, I don't know if I read it somewhere or heard it somewhere, but it's like, where if you don't know how to help yourself, help somebody else. And that is so true. It's always been true. You could be stressing about something, and the moment you go do something for somebody else, you're no longer worried about it. I mean, it's just the way it is. All right, let's do the cat. I want to see if we get any information on Jenna's new kitten. I just realized that Junior's probably went to sleep, you guys. He worked his 12 hours today. I asked him something earlier, oh yeah, about William, and I didn't hear anything back. So I'm assuming he is taking his nap. I love his job. It's only a few days a week, but it makes for long hours for sure. And I really wish he would like find something that he could share with us. It's not that find something, because Junior has something. So do you guys like music? Tell me how many of you guys like listen to music therapeutically. Hi, Miss Tina. How many of you guys like turn the music, like when I'm meditating, when I'm just in a mood, when I'm sad, mad, angry, happy, it doesn't matter. I like music. Junior can sing. And when I say Junior can sing, like he can for real sing. And it's really weird because he has his own voice, but he can very closely mimic other singers and all different types of singers, like rap singers, country singers, blues singers, Elvis Presley. I mean, I'm just saying, I believe they are of some relation, right, Cheryl? Tell me. But you know what I mean? Like, the singing gene be in there. So I definitely wish you could like find something like that's going to be something to do with his passion. That's going to be something that he could give to others. You see what I'm saying? Look, she says, Lord, yes, he can. And I just want you to know, Cheryl, me and Junior were friends for quite some time before I knew he could sing. And I'm pretty sure that's what done it. 44th cousin. See, I knew somewhere down the road. He even looks like him a little, if you ask me. The sideburns are in the same place. But yeah, I wish he would like find something. But again, some people we tend to do the hardest thing for as long as possible until we're absolutely forced to do something different. All right, I think I'm ready for the kitten. All right, Jenna. The sun. That's a beautiful card to come out. So excitement, and this is youth. The sun is Leo energy, but you see the baby, like that's youth. It's all about young, right? Page of Pentacles, excited about a new journey. Knight of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh, look at that. So something the cat does for you is going to bring you massive healing. Look at that Temperance card. And I love it when it's half and half. 3 major arcanas, 3 minor arcanas. Okay, so I feel like this has something to do with timing. Jenna, timing. And I think that's just you getting the kitten, and the kitten is young, so that's good that the kitten is young. Page of Pentacles, again, young, new. Some sort of worth. This is going to have a high, the kitten's going to have a high worth. Like most likely you'll have it for a long time. and become very close. Like I said, I was talking about Spencer, my dog. I've had Spencer the longest than I've had any other pet. And again, not really a pet person. I'm very much more focused like on the people situation. Doesn't mean one's less than the other or nothing like that. It's just the way it's always been for me. Um, but yeah, it's like I'm anxious about him getting older. But King of Wands, I feel like this kitten is going to help you find some sort of courage to do something, some sort of courage to like take some sort of action. And then Knight of Wands, I feel like it's going to have something to do with bringing messages of healing. Because knights, of course, bring messages. They want to have conversations. They want to talk to people. And what you're talking about is healing. But I mean, this could just be your kitten talking to you. I know cats don't talk, but you know, they do. William and Morgan, my youngest son, and his girlfriend, they have your kitten is excited though. I just want to say first ones that came out, super excited to be there. They have a little kitten they've named him Kilo, little black cat. Hi, Sophia. And I don't know, super cute. I feel like if I had him here with me, he would just sit here on the table. I was telling him, I said, I seen this lady who was cooking on YouTube, and I don't know, she had 1 billion subscribers, but she has a dog sitting on the counter while she's cooking. And I was like, who does that, right? And I was like, imagine if I put Kilo on the table while you were doing the reading. Look, she says, ask Charlie. He says ours talk to him. They do. They really do. Spencer talks to me. He might not speak words, but he talks to me every day. Cheryl says he doesn't get the singing from her. It's just funny because a lot of people, I can't sing, I'll just tell you, but a lot of people will say that they can sing, and then they'll start belting it out there, and I'm sure it sounds great to them. But for some of us, it doesn't sound great. I love music. I love all kinds of music. But thank you, Jenna. No, sweetie, I can't do that, honey. Does Miss Tina know that you guys are here? Yeah. In fact, honey, I would say you probably should go ahead and turn that off if Miss Tina is not in there with you. I love you. It's kind of a big people thing. So yeah, we'll be deleting this one, guys. Just letting you know. All right, before I flip it, I want to say it was Miss L, and then it was Jenna and the kitten. And Cheryl, right? Is that it? Yep, and then Cheryl, and then Eliana says, read me, please. Okay, we'll do that. Thank you, Miss Tina. And not that I'm on, it's just that's, you know, like, it's funny, there's people, everybody has like their moral code, right? And everybody like, some people will read to find out if you're pregnant or not, and there's no issue. Some people will do health readings, and they have no problem with that. And I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't. I have no opinion. I just don't. And children, again, not because I feel like it's going to harm them in any way, but I just feel like there's conversations that children should have before they get to this point. But tell her I said thank you for trying to support me. She goes and watches and hits all the likes all the time. All right, so let's do Cheryl's. Let's see what Spirit's got to say for Cheryl. The Four of Cups came out. She's over something. I love that Four of Cups because that lady's wearing a sweater that says, I'm over it. So Four of Cups and Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, the Hierophant. All right, so here's what's happening. You're over the money situation. Because Four of Cups says I'm over it. I'm not even paying attention to this. I don't want it no more. Everything's, I don't like it. And then the Queen of Pentacles says, you're independent. You're finding resources to make your own money, to create your own wealth. And then the Hierophant says that something's becoming official. And then, like, I think I used it in one of the readings. It's something is like coming in the 5D is coming down to the 3D, right? It's like something, somebody's dream. I'm so sorry, I got a hair in my eye. Somebody's dream is coming true. It's like you have a dream or a thought, and it's up here, and it's like the Hierophant brings it down to the physical. So let's clarify those. Jenna the Kitten was a little hard, I will say, because Cheryl's came out super fast. But I think the Kitten was the first two cards. Like, seriously, the Wheel and the Sun. It's like, I'm here, I'm happy, let's go. All right. Four of Cups. So there's some sort of transformation with that. And that could have something to do, because Death card, rebirth, Pluto going direct this week on the 7th. So feel like some sort of massive transformation with your material wealth, with your money, your worth, something like that. I feel like you're just going to start doing something new. The World, new opportunities. So you see that? The Queen of Pentacles in the World. It's like new opportunities have opened up for you. So now you can take some sort of like, make some sort of power move. You see what I mean? And then the Hierophant. The Fool. So you do take a leap of faith, because the Fool is about needing to take a leap of faith. But the Hierophant says you've already brought this down to the 3D. You've already, like, you manifested it into existence. You spoke it into existence. You took action toward it, that sort of thing. So I don't know. I think I told you guys, Cheryl is going to start making books, because I was telling her about how I created the journals on Amazon and how she can make her own books. And she's a super good cook. I don't know why I was putting those away. And she said something about making one, like, you know, I told her, I said, you can make several. I'm just writing down some ideas. And she was like, quick tips. And I was like, I don't know if I forget what she said, but it was quick tips something. And I was like, yeah, write that one. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so I feel like as soon as we can get some time, Cheryl, have you watched that video I sent you, the how-to video? Let me know if you've watched that. I feel like when we get some time, we'll definitely sit down, and I'll show you how to go through and like make your site. I'll show you how it is that you will actually like decorate your book and put the pages in and that type of thing. And I feel like once you get going, I'll make you like a little step-by-step, you know, step 1, step 2. I make them for Miss Tina too. She loves them. But I'll do that. And then that way, once you get going and you're on your own, I feel like you're going to come up with 1,000 different ideas. And are they all going to start selling when you first put them on there? No, I don't think I sold a single journal for like the first month I had them up there. And then also, I should mention, I actually just created and published a guided dream journal. So I hope you ladies are excited about that. The guided dream journal, I don't have one here yet. I did order a couple author copies to give away in giveaways. So this is my dream journal that I created, the very first one. And it's very much just a journal. You put the date on the top, and it's just blank lined pages, and goes 50 pages through. I made one that was bigger, 100 pages. And then this new one is 121 pages, and it's a guided journal. So when you open it, the first page you're going to fill out, was it a lucid dream? Was it a reoccurring dream? And it'll have the words lucid, reoccurring. You have to circle it, fill it in. It's got a part where you're going to put who are the people that were in your dream. It's even got a little part where you got like a blank square, and it says if you want to sketch something, a symbol you saw, something like that. in your dream. So I'm super excited about these dream journals, and I think I priced it at $16.99. So way cheaper than any of the other dream journals that I've seen out there, that were guided dream journals, not just the blank ones. So I'm super excited about that. I do not have it in the Etsy shop, and I actually don't even have a link in any of the YouTube videos yet. So you can't purchase it yet. You could if I had done the things. But yeah, I haven't done it yet. I will definitely work on getting those out and getting the links out to those tomorrow. But yeah, that Amazon is amazing, and they make it so easy. Minimal charge to publish your own book. And I remember like back in the days when you really had to go find like a publisher, and you had to, do all the things before you could actually publish a book. And now you don't. Thanks to the internet and now the audiobooks and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. All right. So let's do Eliana really quickly. And let's see what Eliana's got coming. I feel like I already know. Look, and I ain't even pulled the card yet. That's awesome. Let's see. Ooh, 10 of Cups. 6 of Swords. And the Strength card. The Knight of Wands is on the bottom. So 10 of Cups is going to have something to do with your emotions. It is the Happy Home, Happy Family card. 7 of Cups, confusion. So you could have some sort of confusion about your home life. Because I seen the 10 of Cups and I immediately knew that you're not, I'm not saying you're not happy. I'm just saying like today in particular, you're not feeling this super high vibrational energy. You see what I mean? So that kind of threw me off. So the 7 of Cups tells me there's some sort of confusion. You're not sure which one to pick, and it's probably going to have something to do with parents, siblings, yeah, something like that. Children, spouses, any close. I don't want to necessarily say family because it can also be like your soul family. Not everyone's a blood relation. 6 of Swords talks about leaving some sort of dramatic situation. It's like you're leaving the drama behind you. Ace of Wands is because you have some sort of new inspiration, new excitement to do something, because wands are action. 3 of Swords is new inspiration and new action to heal, to release the sadness. So you could be moving away from someone, Eliana. And then the Strength card, I feel like that's definitely Spirit just telling you to be strong. And then, of course, the Leo energy. And it is so far the only major arcana. 7 of Swords. Someone could be trying to like get away with something or not tell you something. And the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is about release and let go. There was something about this Hanged Man card. Where's my notebook? So, really quickly, I will do my own reading when I do it, because here lately, each day, I haven't been doing them every day. And then I will watch my regular tarot readers. And when they give me a new meaning to a card, I will make this little post-it note and stick it on my board over here that you guys can't see. And then usually it's for that day. Like I'll need it that day. It'll come up that day. And I did get one for that Hanged Man, and I totally can't find it. So I don't know what notebook or notepad I wrote it on. That's shameful, Rosa. So I'm getting a release, let go. That's easy, but I feel like I'm totally missing something. But it is like releasing and letting go. It's like you're going to start seeking the truth. It's like the Seven of Cards is always like distrust. And it's just not truthful. Someone's trying to like not say something. Um, she said, "Oh my God, the Lord, the cards, Lord, good. I hope it get good. I'm glad it's working." There's something else about this Hanged Man though, and I feel like it's right on the tip of my tongue. I'm gonna wake up Eliana at like 3 in the morning and spit it out, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's what it was." Oh, Michelle, she said she glitched out. All right, so your cards are hard sometimes, aren't they, Eliana? But I feel like you have choices, you have options, and you know, like where I feel like you know where you're headed. You could be being guided in a certain way too. Six of Swords is also like a guide. This person is guiding the boat, this other person to where it is that they're going. Strength card, of course. Release, let go. Don't have any expectations. She says, I can only think of my soulmate with this reading. I got a different vibe too. I didn't get like the twin thing. Could be very much, especially with like the being guided to go somewhere else and the inner strength. It's almost like the patience card, right? Eliana, Eliana always gets the patience card. Like, just wait a little bit longer. So Carol says, okay, let's see what Spirit wants me to know. All right, let's see what Spirit wants Carol to know. I'm totally drawn to get a different deck. Gosh, listen. We just used these the other day, though. I was totally going to use that one. But apparently we have to use this one. Page of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and Ten of Swords. Those are big cards, too. All right, so Page of Swords, fear of communication or a new communication. Two of Pentacles is, this could be like stretched resources. This is like, yeah. Ten of Swords is a completion to something painful, but it is a completion. So I do notice you have the two swords. There's no cups. So this is going to be very much about like communication. Communication. Maybe like old ways of doing something are passing away and new things are coming. Something like that. Seven of Wands, boundaries, protecting yourself. Protecting yourself against any kind of new communication. Two of Pentacles. Two of them came out. King of Cups and Justice. So King of Cups is Twin Flame Clue card. But I definitely wasn't feeling that energy. King of Cups, an emotional mentor. It's someone you trust with your emotions. People think, well, I trust a lot of people with my emotions. No, actually, we don't. We really don't. Justice is things being balanced. It is the Libra card, so it could have something to do with the Libra season. And so far, the only major arcana. And Eight of Swords. So if you're waiting for something to be finished, it's possible that you're doing something to keep it from being done. Because the tens are completion and the Eight of Swords is a self-restriction. It's like you're saying, no, I can't finish this, or no, I can't start this new thing, or no. And then, of course, it always talks about fear. Like there's fear to start the new thing because anytime something ends, something new begins. And we very much are in the, Pluto going direct. Hi, Tiffany. Tiffany just joined us. We've actually been on for, this is an hour and a half. Junior worked all day. I'm pretty sure he's asleep on the couch in there. So at first I was thinking that this wasn't going to have anything to do with your journey, Carol. I thought this was going to be more about like the things happening in the world right now. Um, but that King of Cups and the Justice card coming out tells me, of course, I was wrong. I feel like it's going to have something to do with boundaries and communication with your person. And I feel like you get these types of cards. I don't know if in particular, but I feel like you get those often in your readings about keeping the personal space boundaries, communication, especially for your type of communication. But I feel like something needs to come to an end here so that something new can begin. It's kind of like that Pluto going direct thing. But it's kind of like you're saying, no, I'm not ready. I don't want it to. And it's almost, I just got to, like, it's time to take the step up. It's time to like step up to the plate. It's time to like something like that. And there's still fear and you're like, no, I'm safe here. And I just kind of want to stay here. Ooh, Tiffany says she got the secret envelope of the gender of the baby. So are you doing a gender reveal, Tiffany? Tina says, what is the secret? That is super cool. We all want to know. She says she is doing a gender reveal. So you don't know either then? Are you going to wait to find out when everybody else finds out? And just so you guys know, I am going to delete this one. We will delete this live. Um, I shouldn't. I'm supposed to keep them all up, but I don't know. I just feel like this one we should go ahead and take down. I'm just going through and reading all your guys's comments. She said she's pretty sure she's seen a boy today, but they wouldn't tell her. Just really anxious. How was your anxiety today? How did you feel? Did you know about the global social thing? Like, did you know Facebook was down and Twitter, I mean, TikTok and all the things? Did you know they were all having issues today? Oh, she says, oh my gosh, my karmic wants to move to Texas now. Ooh, no, thank you, Carol. And thank you for always like thinking of me, notifying me. I'd have been here screaming at my computer all day until I figured it out. So Miss L does not want to move to Texas. I understand. I actually lived in Texas for a little while. Not really. It's just an extended visit. I was actually in Texas when 9/11 happened. I was at Laughlin Air Force Base. My sister was in the Air Force. So Tiffany says anxious levels have been high over everything. So lots of explanations for that. Could definitely just be them extra babies in there. But I feel like many of us were feeling so when YouTube went out last year, it was like, hey, YouTube crashed. That's weird, right? But like today, when it was Facebook and Instagram, and everybody said that other things weren't affected, but I was trying to load videos on my YouTube and they wouldn't go. I kept getting an error. I was trying to load on TikTok, couldn't get it to do anything. Couldn't message anybody. Yeah. Miss L says I don't want to go south. San Antonio, that is where I was at, Mrs. L. So I feel like a lot of us were really feeling the anxiety of all over the world. Carol was the first person to message me, and she's in California. But I also have a lady in Italy that messaged me and told me, that it was down there too. Australia, I have people that watch from Australia that were telling me in my Etsy shop that their stuff was down too. Um, I have other YouTube creators that I know in London. There's another little. Oh, she's gonna be upset with me. I forgot. We're definitely deleting this one. um, but just all over the world. And so I was getting little e's across my phone, telling me that I had a message, and I thought, well, what is it weird that I got 3 different Etsy messages, and then it was 4, and then it was 5, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go look, because I was still trying to fight YouTube and Facebook. And so I was like, so I went to go look, and I'm so glad I did. And I stopped fighting. I was like, okay, I'm taking the rest of the day off. Yay. So I went and hung out with Miss Tina in the afternoon. So just so you guys know, me and Miss Tina used to hang out every day, all day, all the time. And now since I've started doing all of this to follow my purpose, it has very much cut down on the me and Miss Tina time. So I miss her a lot of times. She's literally like right there. But yeah, I miss her. So yeah, I feel like many of us were feeling the anxiety. Um, like at first, when I first found out, I was like, okay, well, it happens, no big deal. I'll be back any minute. And then when like I messaged Cheryl, and after I started reading a couple other ones, and I was like, hey, can you turn your news on? And so then she started telling me what was on the news, and I was like, yeah, this. I started to get more and more anxious. Um, but by the time I decided I was going to do the live, I really felt like it would just be really good for us just to get on here and talk. We're not on Facebook or anything. It's just us on YouTube. No one didn't advertise. There's nobody going to know. um, so yeah, I figured it'd be good for us to just get in here and talk about like how we experienced it, what happened during our day. Junior didn't know. He was at work all day in the big building, and he had no idea. When he finally did go to Facebook message me, he thought there was something wrong with his phone. I imagine lots of people thought that there was something wrong with their phone. Miss L, that San Antonio is not the place for me. I live where I live for a very specific reason. Um, I brought my kids here from the city to raise them here because I knew this was a much better environment to raise my children in than where we were living. And see, originally we were in Colorado, and that's the best environment if you ask me, because I loved Colorado. It was great. The people were great. Everything was great. But then the recession happened, and Colorado was one of the first places that got hit by the recession in 2008. So we had to come back, out here, out east, and my family is all out here. Um, and we were in Indiana. We were in a big city. My kids were turning into gangster G's, you know what I mean? And I was like, no. And so we packed up and came here where I live now. And I love it here. It's a very small town. Everybody knows everybody, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. um, but I feel like as long as you try to do good, and everybody makes mistakes, but I don't know. I feel like we forgive and we forget and we move on. Everybody's got everybody's back here. It's super loyal, faithful, hometown, small community type situation. My kids graduated from school here, did amazing, made lifelong friends. So yeah, my son actually got married up in Indiana. It's I'd say about 6 hours from where I'm at here. And there was a convoy from where I'm at here to his wedding. That's how many friends he made. We literally had a convoy on the interstate going up there for their wedding. Um, he's actually been recently talking about moving back home, and I feel like we would all be so happy and excited to have him back here. I tried to tell him not to go up there, but he you know how kids are. They do the opposite of what you tell them to do. She says Tiffany lives here with me too. She says calm, quiet, but just small enough. Absolutely, absolutely. Not necessarily too quiet. One of the first things that happened when I very first moved here was the Champion murders. So I don't know if you remember that, Tiffany, but I was like, wait a minute, what is going on? Like I moved here to get away from that nonsense, and it was like it's like the first month I was here. I don't know, it was super early when we first moved here, and there was a couple other things that have happened here. But it's like I was telling my son today, I have lived all over this country. When I was younger with my mom, when I got older in my 20s, doing the crazy things that I was doing in my 20s, And so I've really been all over. And this where I'm at now is where most likely I will stay. I talk about going somewhere else all the time, but it's just because I'm so used to going. I never lived anywhere for any really long period of time. Very much that gypsy-ishy, you know what I'm saying, kind of vibe. I got that from my mom. And yeah, so I just really keep thinking that I'm going to go somewhere, but I really know that, like, I know in my soul, in my heart, that this is where I'm going to be until, you know, until it's time to go to a whole different place. Miss L says, that's awesome. It is. I love it. I'm so grateful to be here. Um, yeah, again, I've been a lot of places, and so I just know, and I don't know if Tiffany, if you know, but it's the lake. There's something about the lake here. We have LBL here. It's land between the lakes, and they have Lake Barkley on one side of it, and then we have Kentucky Lake on the other side of it. But the lake that I'm at, because Kentucky Lake doesn't do the same thing for me as Lake Barkley Lake does for me. Lake Barkley Lake, there was actually a town underneath there. And the TVA moved everybody out, bought them out, and they flooded the town. But even though they bought everybody out, there was still people had lived there for a long time, and people had passed away there. And there were cemeteries and things like that. I still drive out there, and you can still see like old buildings and things. But for the most part, it's all underwater now. And there's a river, the Cumberland. Sorry, it's like brain fart all day today. But the Cumberland runs through it, and so there's a current, always a constant current. And I think from the research I've done and the trying to experience different lakes and going to different locations, there's something about that current that runs through LBL. I mean, through the Lake Barkley Lake. Everybody says water is healing. Everybody knows that. Mass amounts of water is more healing and even easier, better. Every time I go to Lake Barkley, and every time I get in the water from the very first time, and I worked on the lake for several years when I first moved here. Um, Something I was almost like every time I got in that lake, I was getting baptized. You know what I'm saying? It was like a cleansing every single time. It didn't matter, nonstop, and it was wonderful. And I just experience it every time. It's a new experience. It's like that feeling when I don't know if you guys have ever been baptized. I'm not trying to get religious and whatever. But when I was baptized, when I came up out of the water, there was this feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like you just can't explain it, and you don't feel it again. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just this feeling. And it's like every time I go to the lake, I have that feeling. And if I'm sad, it helps. If I'm mad, it helps. If I'm feeling detached, it helps. So yeah, I can't leave that, and I just don't. I don't think I ever will. I think this is it. Tiffany says she has family buried there. Yeah, yeah. I did a lot of research on Land Between the Lakes when I found out, because I was working at the lake for a whole year before anybody ever said, "Hey, by the way." But yeah, so once I found out, I did a lot of research, and I started to learn all the different things about it. And it's amazing to me, one, that it happened. Um, I'm not saying it wasn't needed. I don't want to get into like there's such an argument here where we live about whether it was needed or not needed. I don't know. I'm not that person. But I just feel like it's very tragic. There's a lot of history under there. Miss L says working with water and the sun is good for me when manifesting or cleansing. Yes. Yeah. Sunlight is good for me also, but Miss L, I work inside. I'm literally at my little desk area. We've been talking about moving, but we're not going to make any drastic steps because I bought my home and I'm very comfortable here. It is very tiny, I will say that. But eventually we will have to do something, get something bigger. But so I'm very much right here in this spot. With the AC on. I did, like I said, used to work at the marinas, was on the water. So I was out in the sun, sweating all the time. And then I worked at Lowe's and the garden centers, outside, sweating all the time. I very much enjoy my makeup not running down my face, my hair not poofing out. um, I enjoy the AC. But I'll be in here working 2, 3, 4 days in a row, especially when I get behind in the Etsy shop. See, YouTube, I can get behind, and it's like, it's free. Nobody's paying, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't charge nobody to watch my YouTube. But in the Etsy shop, even though they're low, because some readers charge, it's such a, again, don't judge. Everybody's worth is whatever. So, but yeah, like I try to keep mine as low cost and as affordable as possible, but they still paid for it. Like if it's paid, I got to do it. There's no, I know life happens and things happen, but like I still have to do it. And I don't know if you guys remember, but like when the Lionsgate thing happened, I had to send so many of y'all. Hi, Katie. I had to send so many of y'all coupons because I was turning them in day late, day late. Poor Eliana. Is it Eliana? I think it's Eliana. Somebody. It's not Eliana. There's a different person in my Etsy shop, and she's beautiful. I love her so much. She's always so gracious to me, and she's super always understanding. And I'm like, I'm gonna give it to you a day late. Like, I might as well just go in there and change the date of when it says, like I think right now it's 3 to 5 days, 72 hours. I think right now they're all up to 72 hours. Yeah, when that Lionsgate portal hit, it was insanity, and there was no way I was going to get anything turned in 72 hours. There is a lot of places still out there. And you know what's weird is I always hear people, oh, if you're leaving, good night, Tiffany. Um, if you're telling someone else good night, okay. But I always hear people say that they don't see any buildings out there. And it's like I see buildings every time I go. Old ruins, like falling apart. It's super weird to me how people don't find them, or like I just walk around and bam, there's one right there. Miss L says the moon to charge my energy. Yes, and I'm so bad about putting my crystals out for the. I totally told all of you guys we did a live, and I told you guys to set your stuff out, and then I didn't do it. uh, Bad. All right, guys. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. We're going on an hour and 45 minutes. I know Junior's asleep, but I feel bad that he's asleep in there on the couch. So he's worked all day. So I'm gonna get off here, and I'm gonna let him come crawl in the bed. He gets to have tomorrow off, so he will get some rest. Miss L says your sign equals your element to work with. So the sun is the action, and the earth grounding, and so on. I agree. I understand. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you for coming in here with me. I'm never at a loss for people to listen to me jabber endlessly. I'm so glad we were able to do this, though. And I'm so glad we were able to stay calm today and come together and talk about our wonderful experience with no Facebook today. Good night, Cheryl. All right, you guys. I'm going to get off here. Thank you, Miss L. Thank you for everything that you do for me. Thank you, Eliana, for always coming. I had messaged her and told her we were doing a live, and of course there was no ad, but I forgot that YouTube sends it. It was already out on YouTube. So, good night, Miss Tina. All right, you guys. Good night.